build connections.
Is that as a filmmaker, or as an actor?
Well, I guess either, or I'm thinking like acting, but it could be either.
I think it's first of all, my first bit of advice would be, it's a horrible business. It's very, very, it's not a meritocracy, so don't be disheartened if you go for a part and don't get the job. It's not because you weren't necessarily good enough. There's so many reasons why somebody might not give you a job, not because you're not good at it. I would get as much experience as possible, making your own films, writing your own stories, be proactive in making content that you are in. I would do amateur acting, theatre acting, every kind of acting. I volunteer at this kind of event, get to meet people, use every possible connection you can. Give yourself and your time whenever possible. Say, can I help out by making the tea, the coffee on a film set? Can I be a runner? And then get onto a film set and watch and learn. And do whatever you are asked to do on that set. And even the most mundane job can be useful, because you're talking to people, you're making connections, you're looking and learning and observing. And then just keep putting yourself in a place where you're offering, on Law of Moments, we had a chap who was a runner, who was delightful and was very helpful. And at one point we needed an extra person in a scene, and he got in there, and then he was really good, so we gave him a line. And that's how he ended up in the film. So you never know, and just keep plugging away at it, and be prepared to, really give anything a go just to get some experience.
Then also get in contact with casting agencies, because that's, for example, like now when I'm doing professional films, if I need amateur actors, I will contact my casting agent and ask that, okay, I would need this and this kind of characters. Do you have something in mind? And that's like the most logical way to get to the auditions. But it means that probably you have to do like tens or hundreds auditions, but just don't give up, because it's probably very frustrating, but it has a lot to do with the luck. You have to do it a lot.
I would say also that if you don't have any connections, or you don't have some sort of network already, is if you do volunteer, and if you are generous with your time, like that is a sort of across the board a great way to think of it. That's how you make connections. People will always take free help. There's always room for more people. There's always things to do. And so, just getting a sense of the landscape, but meeting people, and so that you do have those connections. I think the industry is actually very communal, and it's really has a strong community sensibility. It's very familial, and developing your own projects and volunteering on your friends' projects, that favor will get returned. There's sort of like a really nice back and forth between coming out for your friends' films and doing whatever needs to be done, and then they return the favor when it's your turn. And even for really young filmmakers, I think that's important, is to try and build a community amongst your friends, or if your friends aren't interested, just finding some group that you can be a part of, and start helping each other, not necessarily just on one project, but making each other's projects. I think that happens a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, nothing will teach you what people, like a director or producer is looking for, like taking that role for a project, and putting it together. And if I could just speak to your question a little bit as well, because I think it's a really important one as well. There's a lot of ways to think about it. I think, whether you like films, whether you like all of the films or not, or whether you like all of the projects or not, one way to think about it is you're trying to learn the process, right? Like everybody has to start with an idea and end with a film. And so you can learn a lot, even from films you don't like, by watching them and just trying to figure out what the process was. Again, it's